Praise and insults are just opposite ends of the same leash. If a random person's criticism can ruin your day, then a random person's compliment can control your life and your actions as well. Most people think that confidence means learning to ignore insults. But what if the real problem isn't the insults? What if the compliment actually affects us just as much? Because the moment someone else's opinion determines how you feel about yourself, you've already handed them the keys, whether they're praising you or tearing you down. And listen, the truth is that we've all been there. Someone compliments us, and suddenly we feel unstoppable. We walk a little taller, we feel more attractive, more talented, more worthy. And then a few days later, someone else criticizes us, and now we're questioning everything. You know, we're questioning our appearance, or abilities, or personality, or worth. And it's actually quite strange when you think about it. One sentence from someone else can completely change how we see ourselves. And the scary part is that most of us don't even notice we're doing it. We think that we're just accepting feedback, but what we're actually doing is allowing other people's opinions of us to become more important than our own. We become like emotional stock markets that go up when we receive praise, and then it just crashes when we receive criticism. It's like we're never stable, we're never grounded in who we are, we're always reacting. And the reason this happens is because we treat people's opinions of us like facts. But the thing is that they aren't facts. Opinions are not facts, and we tend to lose sight of that so many times and so easily. And just a reminder, just in case you need this reminder, an opinion is an idea that is created based on a belief or a feeling. On the other hand, a fact is an objective statement, something that can actually be proven to be true, literally. And because of that, people's opinions aren't facts. They're merely like snapshots of who you are and are based only on a tiny fraction of who you are. People only know a fraction of who you are, literally, based on one interaction, one phase of your life, one version of you. Meanwhile, you've actually been there for all of it. You've been there for your whole life. You're the only person who has been there for all the versions of you. You've seen your failures, you've seen your mistakes, you've seen your growth, you've seen the moments that no one even knows about. You're literally with all the information about yourself. You have all the information about yourself. Yet somehow we tend to trust the judgment of other people more than our own. Imagine someone watching a movie for 5 minutes when the movie is actually 2 hours long, and then claiming they know the entire plot. That's literally what happens when people form their own opinions about you. And that's not their fault, everyone is entitled to their own opinion. It's your fault because you keep giving people's words value and power over your identity and your worth. When someone praises us, we start believing we're as amazing as they say. And when someone criticizes us, we start believing we're as terrible as they say. And both are actually distortions because neither person is able to see the full picture. They're seeing one moment, one version, one phase. And so now With that being said, and with us knowing all of this, how do we actually develop a balanced approach when receiving compliments or insults? And also, disclaimer, the goal isn't to be cold or to stop caring. What the goal is, actually, is to stop outsourcing your self worth. So, with that being said, here's a simple framework to do just that. Number one, treat praise and criticism the same way. Instead of asking yourself, do I agree with this? Ask yourself, is there anything useful from this? If someone compliments you, of course, appreciate it, but don't build your identity around it and based on it. If someone criticizes you, the same thing. Assess the criticism, but don't build your identity and your self esteem based off of that either. Take the information, assess it, absorb what's useful, and the rest is merely baggage, garbage. Dispose of it, literally. Number two, most people use public approval as like measurement systems, and that is why it is important to build a scorecard for yourself. And this measurement system of public approval is based on likes, comments, recognition, attention, etc. You know, and instead, what you should do is create your own standards that only you can evaluate and you can assess. And based on those standards, you can ask yourself your own questions that will determine your true identity and your self worth based on your perception. For example, you can ask yourself, did I keep my word today? Did I put in the effort I said I would? Did I improve compared to yesterday? Did I show up for myself like I said I would? And if you know you're living according to your values, outside opinions will have less power over you and will simply be irrelevant, literally. And number three, remember that people are reacting to a version of you and not the entirety of who you are. I'm sure that you have grown and changed since the last time that some people have seen you. Yet, they are only still aware of that previous version of who you were and are still using that version of you to create perceptions about you and to create opinions about you, although you don't align with that version anymore because you have grown and changed and matured. So always remember that every compliment, every insult, every sort of judgment, whether it's positive or negative, is based only on a small piece of you that they know and that you might not even align with anymore. And with that being said, what I want this point to be about is to not allow partial observations and partial statements to define and determine your entire identity, because those factors aren't true. They aren't an accurate representation of who you are. And you know what? At the end of the day, if someone calls you a genius, don't let your head get too big and you start floating away. And if someone calls you a failure, Don't dig your own grave and start to spiral and feel like the world is going to end. Stay grounded. That's what I want the message to be here, to stay balanced and stay grounded, whether you're receiving criticism or praise. I want for us all to be so rooted in our identities that what other people have to say doesn't impact us in any way at all, whether what they're saying is positive or negative, because praise can inflate your ego and criticism can destroy your confidence. But both only have as much power as you give them. And that's truly what it boils down to. Praise and criticism are both opinions. Don't build your identity on either of them, literally. And that's all I really want the message to be, to stay grounded and to not allow anyone's opinions to determine who you are, your identity, how you feel about yourself, your self worth, how you see yourself. So, yeah, that's all I really have for it today. I hope that this has been really helpful and I hope that this has been positively impactful. And as always, I am sending my love. Bye bye.